6 tips for when you are going through a hard time. So whether this is you going through the hard time or you're supporting someone else who's going through a hard time, these tips are really, really valuable because when you're in it, right, like it's hard to see out. It's hard to see what to do. Maybe you're that person that gives everybody else advice all the time, and then when you're going through the hard time, you're like, wait, what do I tell other people? I don't know what to do, right? It's very difficult to see out of it when you're going through something hard. So these tips are something that even if right now you're not going through a hard time, take them and keep them, because if you do enter into something a little bit tough or challenging, you can have these at the ready. Maybe you have someone in your life who's going through a tough time. Take these, write these down, have them so that you can help support them. Okay? All right, let's go. Tip number 1 is feel your feelings. This is the biggest mistake that people make when they are going through something difficult. They disconnect and they try to shut off their feelings because, let's face it, we get afraid that they're going to overwhelm us. Part of the reason why we're probably in this difficult time is because we were denying something, right? That's usually what leads us somewhere, and we all do that. So the way out is through. I'll say that again. The way out is through. You have to move through the feelings that you're feeling, and you have to honor them, and you have to give yourself more credit than you do. You are strong enough to feel an emotion and then move through it. If you're fearing that you're not strong enough to deal with an emotion for a few minutes or an hour or a day, then seek out a therapist that can help support you through the process of digging up the emotions. There's no shame in that game. The strong people, the smart people go to therapy. That's totally fine. If you can't work through it on your own, if you truly are too afraid, seek help. But for everyone else, it's probably just that you're building it up bigger than it really is. Feel your feelings. How are you feeling? And be honest. Like a lot of people get stuck at, I'm feeling mad. Well, mad, angry, those are secondary emotions. What were you originally feeling? Take it back all the way to the root. All right, maybe you're feeling frustrated. That's okay. But why? What led to the frustration? What emotions were piling up before the frustration hit? Why did you get frustrated? What led you to that? Feel your feelings and honor them. And please don't ever apologize, ever, for the way you feel. Never, ever, ever. You don't choose how you feel. You feel how you feel. You can apologize for actions that you take, but don't ever apologize for your own feelings. And don't judge them in yourself. Like, I shouldn't be feeling crabby today. Well, maybe you shouldn't, but you are. So just embrace it and own it and move through it. So tomorrow when you wake up, you don't still feel crabby. Okay? All right, tip number 2. Check in with fear. I've said this a million times. I will say it 500 million bajillion times more, and I won't mind. Fear is your friend. Fear can help you. Just like anything else, you have to shift your mindset around fear, okay? So maybe, remember when I said tip number 1 was feel your feelings? You're probably afraid to feel your feelings, okay? Why are you afraid? What is the fear around the difficult situation that you're going through? What part of it is really just stuck in your head? And what are you projecting as an outcome that you're afraid of as a result of this difficult time? All right? Fear can help you if you understand its role in your life. If you think every fear that comes into your head is a fact and you take it as evidence and you're like, yes, that's exactly right, then you are going to be very, very stuck in your life because your brain's job is to keep you safe. So it prefers you to stay where you are all the time, okay? Because it knows, your brain knows, okay, we're in this situation right now and so far we've survived it. We're not sure about the next one, so let's stay here, okay? That's what your brain does, but you have to respect it. I like to tell people, imagine that you're sitting in a boardroom and you are the CEO of your life. So you're sitting right at the head table. And then you have the people who work for you sitting next to you. So you have your mind where all your fear lives, you have your heart where all your emotions live, and you have your body. And as you're going through something or making a decision or trying to figure out what to do next, you consult each, okay? Each has a different job. Each does something different for you. So if you fear, your brain's job is to tell you what it's afraid of. Now, if you consult fear for how do I feel? What should I do? What's the thing that's going to lead me to happiness? It's not going to steer you in the right direction. That's not its area of expertise. That's your heart's job, okay? So really listen to it. So what are you afraid of and why? And how can you move forward with a awareness of that fear and respect of that fear, all right? When I was starting my own business, I was insanely afraid that I was not going to be a great mother if I put 1,000,000% into my business too. I was really afraid I couldn't do both. So instead of just not doing it and letting that fear just completely take over, instead of taking that as fact and evidence that I couldn't do it, I built it along with me so that every time I started something and launched something or did something or said yes to something or tried something, in my mind, I was making sure I was keeping a great balance between work and home. So instead of hurting me or stopping me, that fear helped me. And I'm not afraid of it anymore because now I have plenty of evidence that I can do it, but I still keep that in my mind that that's something important to me. Okay, so fear is your friend if you learn how to use it. Okay, number 3, gratitude. You know, I say this to people like, are you running your gratitude checklist while you're in your difficult time? And I get like the eye rolls and the like, is this an after school special, right? I get it. When you're feeling like you're in a tough spot, you're not really like, oh, let me just think of all the stuff I'm grateful for. I get it. I understand that. As someone who also experiences difficult times, I completely understand that it's not like the first thing you want to do. But trust me when I say it will change everything. It will turn so much around for you. It will shift you out of that mind space where you're stuck, where you can't see out, you can't see what's next. When you shift into gratitude, even if you're bullshitting it for a few minutes, totally okay. Shift there. Because when you go to gratitude, you do this thing that really trips up fear's hold on your brain. Gratitude is when you think of all the things you're grateful for, that's thinking about all the things that you have evidence of that you can succeed, that you can have good things, that you are worthy of wonderful things. So maybe your gratitude list only has 3 things on it. Maybe it has 300. It doesn't matter. But all of the things on that list, the 3, the 300, the 10, whatever, is all evidence that you are worthy of love, that you can do it, that you are able. All of that, that's that evidence. Fear is the worry that you can't, but gratitude is the evidence that you already have, okay? So sit and run that gratitude checklist. Write it down. Just sit and think about all the things you're grateful for. Pick 5. Pick 5 things that you're super grateful for in your life. Maybe the only thing you can think of in that day is you're looking outside and you're like, you know what? The sun's out. Great. Be so grateful for that. Maybe you'd be like, you know what? I have survived until this day and I'm grateful for that. Awesome. There's evidence that you can do it. All right. Really, really try. No, don't try. Really just do it. Run the gratitude checklist. It's a game changer. All right, number 4, make a plan. Make a plan, make a plan, make a plan. My title that I have for myself is Spiritual Strategist because I found after doing my work for a while that helping people make plans and strategies is so necessary. It's what people need and that I'm good at it. They download into my head. I would love to tell you that they're just from me, but they're not. The angels have the better plans than I do. So I download them from me to you. But it's so important to make a plan. So reach out if you need help making the plan. If that's become a blind spot for you, that's okay. But here's how you make a plan. What's your end goal? What's the end result you're looking for? How do you want to feel as you move through this difficult process? Maybe you have control over the end result, maybe you don't, but you do have control over the way that you feel, okay? So what is it that you want? Now, people get to this step and they get stuck, they freeze, they get overwhelmed because they're really focusing on just trying to get to that end result, okay? Well, my end result is that I want to be a better parent and I think that I'm sucking at being a parent. That's what somebody said to me. And I was like, okay. And they're like, but I don't even know where to start. Like, well, what's one thing? What's one thing that you can improve right now that you can say, this is part of my plan? What's one thing? And she said, I'm going to speak kinder to my children. Great, let's make a plan to make that piece happen. All right, and that's what we did. So take steps, take little things. Again, the more you achieve little goals, the more you can say at the end of the day, I did that one little thing. The more your brain has evidence that you can do things, that you can accomplish, and the less it'll feel like you're climbing a gigantic mountain. All right, listen, I've been at the bottom, like down in the bottom of the deep dark hole. I have been there. I was there. I know what that feels like to think, oh my God, it's going to take so much work to climb out of this hole that I have dug for myself and that I have been laying in. I get it. But the longer you lay there, the more time you're still there. And the more you take little steps to get out, even if they're baby steps, one a week, you're still making progress. You're still climbing out. And let me tell you, each time you get a little step higher, you feel better. Absolutely. Go for it. Make a plan. Don't stop at the action part, right? That's where people, they stop there. Well, I want it to happen. Well, great. I'm glad that you want it to happen. What are you doing to help it come to life? You have to take some responsibility there. Pick some plans. It's a great thing because a lot of people were in a hard time. They really struggle with, I don't know what to do, right? I don't know what to do to make this better. So making a plan can do that. Some things are harder and some things are easier to see some steps, all right? Maybe it's somebody that you care about going through a hard time. There's something you can do. You could send them dinner. You could send them flowers. You could write a nice letter. You could decide to write them one letter a week and mail it. People love to get mail that's not bills, right? Mailing a letter does not cost a lot of money. It does not take a lot of time. Just a quick note, that could be something. You don't have to make them gigantic action steps for your plan. They just have to be a part of it. It has to be moving in the right direction, okay? All right, number 5, ask your angels for help. A lot of people come to me and I say, okay, what are you saying to your angels about this? And like, oh, I haven't done that yet. And I'm like, do you know who I am and what I do? Ask them. They're there. They want to help you. Angels, God/the universe, higher beings, your spirit loved ones, all of them. They all want to help you, but they cannot help you unless you ask. They can't, because you have this beautiful thing. It's a great gift called free will. So if you would like help, you need to ask. The more specific you can be, the better. But if all you can do is just look up at the sky and say help, I don't care if it's from a bird or an angel or the ghost of the guy who used to live in my house, but just somebody help, that's fine. You just need to ask. When I was in my darkest of dark times, postpartum depression had its grips on me, and I was the most insecure person ever. I was not allowing myself to be who I was, and I wasn't telling anyone that I was who I was and had the abilities that I was. I was trying to hide them, and I was miserable. I was doing things that I didn't love to do. I was in more debt than you can even imagine, and I was in that place, and I just said, I give up. I call it my Jesus take the wheel moment. I just said, I can't do this anymore. I am running myself into the ground and none of this is working. I was a control person. Like, I thought I was just steering the whole ship all the time, right? And when I did that, I didn't say any perfect thing to the angels. It wasn't a perfect prayer. It wasn't me tapping into the correct archangel. It wasn't that. It was simply just a help thrown up to the sky, and it came. So I'm telling you, it helps to know more and to understand more, but as long as you're asking for help, it will come. Now, after you ask and you connect, the more specific you can be, the better. The thing is, when you're going through a hard time, the reason it feels so difficult is because of the way you're feeling. So the best thing to ask your angels for when you're in it, and you're like, what do I even ask for? Is ask to feel better. Can I feel more peace in this difficult time? Can I feel more direction? Can I feel more inspired? Can I feel more uplifted in this difficult time I'm going through? Okay. All right. Last but not least, number 6, take a break. people going in their difficult times, I get it, but you obsess, right? We obsess. I've done it too. You obsess over the difficult stuff that you have going on, and it's all you think about, and it's just churning in your head, and you're running scenarios, and you're replaying things that have already happened. Take a break. Go on vacation. Drive to the beach. I don't care what you have going on. I don't care if you should be at work and you have $1 million project happening. Stop and take a break. It's worth it. Maybe it's only an hour you can give yourself, but you sit and you do something else that has nothing to do with the problem. You have to. You have to. You have to. I don't care if, other people around you, you feel like they need you. If you do not give yourself a break from this problem, not only will you start going down fast, but you won't be able to connect as well with angels and everything else. You won't be able to lift yourself up as easily. So it's so, so important to take a break. Learn meditation. People say to me all the time, I can't meditate because my brain is too busy. Well, that is the reason you should meditate, because your brain is busy. That's how you learn. You don't need to do a meditation where you have zero thoughts popping into your head. That's not what meditation is about. Meditation is learning to have all of that thought and all of that stress and all of those situations going on around you all the time, and to be able to put it down for a few minutes. That's what meditation is, okay? So learn to do that. Do something you love to do. Go for a walk, and the whole time you're walking, imagine you have a basket next to you, and each time this difficult situation comes into your head, you just put it in the basket. You're like, I'll pick up this basket at the end of my walk. Whatever you do, give yourself a break, okay? All right, I hope those tips helped.